Terry McAuliffe. It's so good to be back in Virginia. It's so good to be here, Norfolk. You're gonna bring this home, right? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. There are so many incredible leaders who are here right now. The governor's here, Mark Herring, I worked with him. The Attorney General is here. We're going to elect Hala Ayala to be the next Lieutenant Governor. We have got the Virginia House of Delegates. We're going to take that back, right? Virginia Beach and Norfolk. Bobby Scott is here. Elaine Luria is here. They're all here, and we're all here together. We are all here together. So listen, 4 days to go. Tomorrow is a very important day, and the days leading up to Tuesday are very important days. And Tuesday is a critical day that will determine whether we either turn back the clock or move it forward, having a vision and knowing what can be, unburdened by what has been, having the ability to have a governor of this beautiful Commonwealth of Virginia who understands the people, who has always been a fighter for the people, who has the experience to represent the people, who has the courage and the fight to fight for the people, all for the benefit of this beautiful state. And Virginia, I'm here because the President and I care deeply about Terry McAuliffe, about the Commonwealth of Virginia, and about the future of our nation. Now, you all know that every 4 years when this election happens for governor of Virginia, it's a tight election, it's a close election, and it is a bellwether for what happens in the rest of the country. You know, the last time I was standing with Terry, I saw a bunch of signs and they said, "Don't Texas, Virginia." Right? Let's not Texas, Virginia. Because you see, what happens in Virginia will in large part determine what happens in 2022, 2024, and on. And so I'm here to, yes, agree with everything you know that Pharrell talked about love of this state, everything that the former and future governor has talked about his experience and his vision. And I'm also here to talk about the fact that each one of you in your possession has the ability to determine, yes, who will be the next governor, but also by extension, given the importance of this Virginia election, how the country is going to move. And in that way, each of you has a power to impact the lives of people you may never meet, people who may never know your name, but because of what you do tomorrow and the next day and the next day and Tuesday, their lives will forever be impacted by what you do in this election. The power is in your hands. And elections matter. Elections matter. If Virginia hadn't turned out, if you hadn't did what you did in 2020, I wouldn't be standing here. Elections matter. Organizing matters. Talking to your neighbors matter. Texting, emailing, seeing a perfect stranger on the street, but in their face, like Pharrell talked about, in the face of a stranger, seeing a neighbor with an equal investment in the outcome of this race. It matters. So we have got to do everything in our power to reach out to everyone we see and know and remind them not only that this election matters, but that they matter, that we matter, that Virginia matters. if you want a reference point about how elections matter, yes, I would ask you, hopefully with a smile, to reflect on 2020, but I'll also ask you to reflect on what happened 4 years before. When a lot of us thought the right thing will happen, it'll be all right. And one of the lessons we learned among many, we can take nothing for granted ever. Every time in our nation when we have experienced and seen progress, it was not because we sat back and assumed it would all be all right. It is because we stepped up, because we know that progress never comes without hard work and often a fight. So what's at stake in this election? Why are you asking us, Kamala, to do all of this? Well, who is governor matters. Who is governor matters. If you care about the rights of women to make decisions about their own bodies, who is governor matters. If you care about whether there's a governor who says, I respect the right of a woman in consultation with her family, her God, to make decisions about her own body, elections matter. Electing Terry McAuliffe will matter. If in the middle of a recovery from a pandemic, you believe that health care and health coverage matters, who is governor will matter. If you believe that concerning oneself with the condition and well-being of our members of our military matter, who is governor will matter. Just look at his record when he essentially ended veteran homelessness when he was governor before. Who is governor matters. When we are looking at whether we take seriously this beautiful earth we have been given and the seriousness of this climate crisis. Who is governor will matter in terms of saying we must prioritize these issues and not accept false choices. We care about jobs and we care about the climate. We need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We need to invest in renewable energies. We need governors who stand up, stand tall, stand strong on these issues that are unique in so many ways about this moment and why this moment matters. If you care how workers are doing and working people, and you understand that when 2 million women had to leave the workforce, a large part of it had to do with an inability to afford or have access to child care. Who is governor matters. When you understand how many workers are in what we call the sandwich generation, raising young children and caring for elderly relatives and parents. And whether you have a governor who stands up and says, let's invest in an approach like Build Back Better that says let's have at-home care and elder care and make it affordable and accessible. Who is governor matters. When you understand that whether you are a member of a labor union or not, you have labor to thank for the 5-day work week, for the weekends, for sick leave, for paid leave if you've got it, and that a governor matters on whether we will fight always to protect collective bargaining. Who is Governor matters. This election matters. If you recognize that, yes, we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go on LGBTQ rights and passing the Equality Act, who is Governor matters. These next 4 days matter. And the power is in your hands. And we've seen the power of the people. In fact, I will tell you, on the list of who is Governor matters, if you believe that the right to vote and access to the polls matters, who is Governor matters. When we talk about Don't Texas Virginia, that's one of the top things I have in mind. Choice, one of the top things I have in mind. Watch what's happening around this country. This is no joke. You think they don't think and aren't watching this around the country to think if we can take Virginia, we can do this a lot of other places? Don't let Virginia be an experiment. Who is Governor matters on an essential issue like voting rights. And here in Virginia, Governor Northrup, the elected leaders of Virginia, you've done an extraordinary job. Virginia has become a model. On what it means to say that if we will maintain and strengthen our democracy, we will not make it more difficult for people to vote. We will make it easier for people to vote. And sometimes we don't realize how good we got it until it's taken away. Let's not learn that lesson, Virginia. Let's not learn that lesson. You know, every morning I read what's called the PDB, the Presidential Daily Briefing. Now let me tell you about the PDB. The PDB is a classified amount of information about threats to our nation's security and hotspots around the world. Now, I'm not going to talk about what I read every morning, but I'm going to tell you this, based on what I know. There is a real conversation happening around this world about the battle between democracies and autocracies. There's a real battle happening where people are watching what we are doing in our country and making a decision about whether that is, in fact, a role model of how you can be strong and be a democracy, or whether it doesn't work. That's happening around this world. I have had direct conversations with leaders from all over the world on this. I have had conversations where I had the Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, at the official residence of the Vice President, had her over for breakfast. And that was a topic she raised. What's going on, is essentially what she said. And I told her that we are strong in our beliefs, that though we may be tried and tested, that the American people will always stand for the pillars of our democracy. And we know, as imperfect as we are, as flawed as we may be, one of the strengths of who we are as a nation is we always fight for our ideals. We are a work in progress. There is no question about that. But we fight for our ideals. So when we're talking about an election that's 4 days away, well, really it's tomorrow, because I would prefer that you don't wait till Tuesday to vote. I would prefer you vote tomorrow. and tell everybody you know to vote tomorrow. Nothing like saying, you want to meet me tomorrow? What you doing tomorrow? You got any plans tomorrow? Tomorrow's a good day. It's going to be a good day. But the point is, there is so much power in the hands of the people, including not only determining the outcome of this very, very important election, but making a statement about who we are as a nation. All of that is at stake. And I think moments like this should cause us to really look in a mirror and look in that mirror and say, I've got power. I've got power. Say, I've got power. The power is in my hands. I have the power to decide. I have the power to weigh in. I have the power to order what I want for my children and my family. And I will do that through my vote. And I will vote for Terry McAuliffe to be the next governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you.
From the driveway of my house to your apartment where I am waiting now. Come on, don't think night's young. Let's go. NYC, Portland, Austin, Anaheim. Maybe not Anaheim. Keep an open mind. I'm just saying, baby, let's go. I don't care.